made a mistake on yesterday's show. Got to own up to it today.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And here we go, everybody. It's Matt Derry. It is Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today is Tuesday, July 9th and Wednesday, July 10th. Thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts, making us your first listen. And thank you to those of you that subscribe and watch us for free on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Also, don't forget about our Speak Pipe, where you can leave a voicemail, and we're going to play it on the show. Now, we're going to do a call of the day today. We're going to do a call of the day today. But there was no good ones. There were no good ones. Guys, you got to step up your game. Speakpipe.com/Derry podcast page. Leave a voicemail. Say something about the Lions. Ask a question. Keep it clean. I went through today's submissions and they weren't good enough for a call of the day. So I'm going to tell my audience to step up for Thursday. Tomorrow, Bradford Banta, former Detroit Lions tight end and long snapper, former Lions assistant coach, former Michigan assistant special teams coach, will join us tomorrow on the program. Locked On Lions today, brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as playoffs are done. Sports stop sporting like we want them to right now. It's kind of a dead period. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long at FanDuel. So visit FanDuel.com to get started. You can follow me on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions on Twitter as well, the Matt Derry Facebook fan page. And of course, as I said before, check us out on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Coming up on the show today, it's day number 2 of our first-time Pro Bowlers list. What 5 Lions do I think have a chance to make the Pro Bowl for the first time this season? And I got a cop, no cap, I got a cop to a mistake I made on yesterday's show. We will do that coming up momentarily. Also, Pro Football Focus has their win totals out based on all of the numbers that they throw into the computer and everything else. Lions win total in Vegas is 10.5. What is it at PFF? We will tell you coming up momentarily on the program. There are actually articles about the 2025 NFL draft, and I'll tell you why. We don't even talk about it around here. And Dak Prescott's in a walking boot. Oh, boy. That has an effect on the Lions. All of that coming up on today's program. But thanks for checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. We are back after vacation last week. All is well. And we got rookies reporting, a couple of weeks? Less than 2 weeks. Training camp starting up soon from Allen Park. The excitement is building for an awesome summer into fall here for your Detroit Lions. All right. We do this every summer, every year. The top 5 list of the potential first-time Pro Bowlers on the Lions. At number 1 is the guy we think has the best chance. At number 5, more of a long shot. Yesterday, we started at number 5 with Terrion Arnold, the rookie cornerback from Alabama, the Lions' first-round pick, who I think has an opportunity, if he has a really, really good year, to be a Pro Bowler. It's going to be a bit of a long shot, but that's why he's at number 5. Now, yesterday, and some of you caught this on YouTube, and this is why I appreciate my viewers on YouTube, I said that DJ Reader had made the Pro Bowl before, and so that he was not eligible to be on this list. Right? Jared Goff is not eligible. Penei Sewell is not eligible. Sam Laporta, Aiden Hutchinson, Frank Ragnow, Jahmyr Gibbs, who was an alternate but made it last year, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Reeves-Maybin. All of these guys have been Pro Bowlers before. Kevin Zeitler, also not eligible. I had said yesterday that DJ Reader had made the Pro Bowl because I thought, as I was doing my research, that he had made it as an alternate in 2022. But he did not. Actually, DJ Reader was very angry as a member of the Bengals team that went to the Super Bowl in 2022 because he finished that season with 43 tackles, 7 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks in 15 games in 2022. Also had 12 tackles, 3 for a loss, 4 quarterback hits, and 1 sack in 4 playoff games that year. Didn't even make it as an alternate and was quote unquote pissed off that he did not make the Pro Bowl. He said back in 2022, there's no way you think 8 guys in the AFC are better than me. But if you do, then I got to go out there and show you. DJ Reader is now a member of the Detroit Lions. And DJ Reader is today's installment as the number 4 player on the list that has a chance to be a first-time Pro Bowler on the Detroit Lions this season. Look, there's 3 others that are ahead of him, and it was a tough call because I had to kind of revamp the list. But DJ Reader, I will put in at number 4. He's entering year number, what is this now, 7 or 8 for DJ Reader? Hold on. DJ Reader, I had it right here. Hold on. Come on. DJ Reader is entering this season number 7 in the NFL. He's a very good football player. He showed in Cincinnati that he can wreck games. And other than a couple of leg injuries that ended his seasons a couple of times, including last year in 2023, and one of the reasons why I don't think the Cincinnati Bengals wanted to give him the kind of money, 2 years, $26.5 million that the Lions gave him. The Lions are banking on him being healthy, coming back, and next to Aleem McNeil and Aiden Hutchinson having a big year. And when you look at the combination, sound like Marv Albert, the combination of McNeil and Reader, man, what if DJ Reader came in and became a bulldozer in the middle, became a game wrecker, became a guy that the Lions have been longing for at defensive tackle, big body or not, that could really make a difference like an Ndamukong Suh did. Now, Suh is a little bit lighter than Reader. I wouldn't say that DJ Reader is your classic nose tackle, but he is a guy with his size and with his ability. He can get to the quarterback as well as plug the middle and be a run stopper. And he also has a pedigree. He's also been around. He's entering his age 30 season, and he's ready to party. And he's ready to be a guy that I think can take that next step to where by the end of the year, his peers, the media, everybody that votes could say, this is a Pro Bowl type of player and a Pro Bowl type of talent on the interior of the defensive line. Why not? Right? You look around the league, you see some of the guys that have made it, the Kenny Clarks of the world in Green Bay, the Aaron Donalds, who of course is now retired. Those are the kind of players that seemingly every year get voted in, make it to the Pro Bowl, that have been stalwarts, standouts at that position on the defensive line and at defensive tackle. The guys in San Francisco who have been there before, the Armsteads of the world and others. But this is putting Reader next to McNeil, I think just is a dimension that this team has not had. I've been begging for that second defensive tackle for years on this show. Aleem McNeil is really coming along. He has become a really, really good football player. And when healthy, is excellent. But last year, having to play alongside Benito Jones, who the Lions had no interest in bringing back, or Quinton Bohanna, who had to be elevated for a few weeks from the practice squad to starting at defensive tackle. Levi Onwuzurike has not performed, has not been healthy. Broderick Martin last year was a 3rd-round pick, was inactive for a lot of the games. Kaminsky and Pascal, when they rotate on the inside, have been okay. Josh Pascal has shown you flashes, and John Kaminsky too. But DJ Reader is for real. There's a reason he became one of the more expensive Brad Holmes free agent pickups in the 4 off seasons that Holmes has had running your Detroit Lions. Brad Holmes has done an excellent job. He's brought in a lot of good players. What he hasn't done is use free agency to break the bank, make a big splash, and overspend. He's been drafting, developing, and re-signing. But to give Reader $13.5 million a year for a couple of years, and we had Dan Horde, the Bengals radio voice, on a couple of months ago, and Horde said it. Boy, are we going to miss DJ Reader. And he was sad to see him go. But again, 2 torn quads, 2 quad injuries. You wonder, how healthy is he going to be? Didn't work out at all during mini camp here. Hopefully he's going to be healthy and ready to go for training camp. We'll see. But if he's healthy, I think he can be a Pro Bowler, and he makes our list at number 4. We'll get you number 3 on Thursday, because tomorrow we're going to talk to Bradford Banta, the former Lions at tight end and long snapper. Still makes his home here in the Motor City. We'll do that tomorrow right here on Locked On Lions. All right, coming up next, what is PFF forecast for the Lions in terms of wins? We'll do that next right here on Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions, folks, brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. We all love sports. We love them so much. We don't want them to stop. But Stanley Cup's done. NBA Finals are done. We're like watching the highlights of the men's basketball Olympic team working out. WNBA's been hopping a little bit. All right. But we got fewer games going on. And the sports aren't sportsing like we want them to. But at FanDuel, let me tell you what, the sports keep going whenever you want. All you got to do is open up the app and dream up bets anytime that you are in the mood, because FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Want to put some money down tonight on the Tigers to win 5 in a row? They play Cleveland downtown. You can do that at FanDuel.com. It's FanDuel. Whoops, Matt Derry back with you. It is a Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Shout out to our everydayers. Thank you to those of you that listen or watch each and every day. Appreciate all of you. That includes my guy Turner Batdorf and Jody and the whole Batdorf clan down in Houston, Texas. They'll be up here for a few games this year. Hopefully you're going to get a chance to see them at Ford Field at some point. Great family, great Lions family. Our guy Anthony Pavicic, always checking on Locked On Lions. Shout out to him as well, and all of the everydayers that check us out daily. Chavez Vincent as well, some of our great listeners and watchers of Locked On Lions. All right, I've told you for the last few weeks that our friends at FanDuel have the Lions for their win total this year at 10.5. Over under 10.5. Last year, the Lions over under, I believe, was 9.5, and they won 12. It was a fantastic season. As we know, the Lions went to the playoffs. The Lions won 2 playoff games, and I don't think anybody's going to complain about 14 wins from a year ago. But I looked at the schedule. We played the schedule game a while ago, and this all changes. Who has the rules? There's no rules. I had the Lions going 10-7 when I played the schedule game. I had them losing at Arizona, at Dallas, at Green Bay, at Houston, at Indy, at Chicago, and at San Francisco. My one road win for the Lions was the Bears, was it? No, I had them losing the Bear game. Where was my... If I said 10-7, it's got to be a road game in here. Oh, I had them winning at Minnesota in week 7, the 6th game of the year. So I had the Lions going 10-7. Now, again, I might change this. What if Dak Prescott's hurt? Well, all these things, all right, when you look at the schedule. FanDuel has the Lions at 10.5 wins. They've got the Packers at 9.5 wins. Pro Football Focus, our friends at PFF, did their projected win totals for this season. They do a PFF season simulation model. They put out a bunch of numbers in the computers. They put out the schedules, the odds makers. And PFF, like I said, does the season simulation model where they dive into the futures landscape to find value in the win totals market. Now, the Lions' strength of schedule is 19th hardest. Toughest schedule in the NFL this year is the Cleveland Browns, and they are projected to win 8.5 games from FanDuel. Their projected win total from PFF is 8.1. The second toughest schedule in the NFL is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their their win total projection is 8.5. And then number 3, Buffalo Bills, they're projected to win 10.5 games from FanDuel. Lions projected win total from FanDuel, 10.5. Lions projected win total from Pro Football Focus, 9.7. 0. So you got the Chiefs. This is interesting. You got the Chiefs at 10.9056. San Francisco, 10.66. Baltimore, 10.21. Philadelphia, 9.7891. 97.1. Cincinnati, 9.7654. Buffalo, 9.723. Detroit, 9.7087. Dallas, 9.6. Green Bay, 9.2. So Green Bay is closer to their projected FanDuel win total. So Vegas has them at 9.5. PFF has them at 9.22. Their strength of schedule is 22nd. Man, I thought the Lions' strength of schedule was more difficult than 19. But what do I know? But the Lions win total FanDuel 10.5. Win total PFF below 10, 9.7. I'm still taking the over if we're going by 9.7. And here's why. I still think we're going to sit around 10 or 11 wins for a couple of reasons. I thought last year's schedule was a piece of cake. I think this year's division is more difficult than it was last year, especially with Chicago getting better, although the Lions split with the Bears. I don't see a lot of gimmies. Last year, you knew Raiders Monday night, please. The Carolina Panthers, please. I thought the Lions had some pretty easy game. Atlanta at home, you knew the Lions were winning. I look at the schedule: Rams, Bucks, Cards, Seahawks, Cowboys, Vikings, Titans, Packers, Texans, Jags, Colts, Bears, Packers, Bills, Bears again, Niners on the road in Minnesota. And I go, is there one game that I would pick to go, oh, it's a lock? I'd probably say Tennessee at home, because I think the Titans with a rookie coach in a very difficult division. AFC South is damn good. Houston is going to be lethal this year. Indianapolis, if Anthony Richardson's healthy, very good. Jacksonville, looking to bounce back, is a really good roster. Those are not easy games. Tennessee, to me, is pretty easy. To have to play at 425 at Lambeau, to have to play under the lights, well, I mean, it's indoors, but to have to play a Sunday night game at Houston. That Arizona game in week 3, people are going to go, oh, the Cardinals stink. I'm telling you, that's a tough game. That's going to be a tough game. The Cardinals are coming. Cardinals are much improved. That's not going to be easy. You know, having to play 4 out of 5 on the road from October 13th to November 10th. And three of those 4 games are all playoff teams from last year: Dallas, Green Bay, and Houston. So I would still say 10, maybe 11 is where this team's going to be, but they might win less games this year, but still be a better football team. That is possible. You can win the division going 10-7. I know a lot of people are hyping up Green Bay, but they played about the same schedule the Lions play, having to play the NFC West and the AFC South. So there's going to be some tough games in there. Seattle at home, I think, actually on Monday night, I'm chalking up as close to a lock, because I think Seattle's taking a step back this year with no Pete Carroll, and I think it's time for Geno Smith to come back down to earth. So that's where PFF has the Lions. Vegas has them at 10.5. PFF has them at 9.7. You going over or you going under? I'm still going over 9.7. New England, 4.5 win total for FanDuel. PFF has them at 6.4 with their simulation. So there you go. That is what PFF thinks. A little bit less than what the folks in Vegas have to say. I want to say something about Dak Prescott, but I want to bring something up very quickly that I've been noticing. A lot of articles, including today on the front page of the NFL page on ESPN.com, from Matt Miller, draft expert, talking about the 2025 NFL draft and all these quarterbacks and the like. They're going to be near the top of the draft next year. Do you know I don't even look at it? I don't even look at it. The Lions are so, back in the day, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I used to read that stuff all the time. I loved early draft talk before the season even started because you knew how bad the Lions were going to be. And you go, oh, what quarterback might be there for them? Remember a few years ago, Malik Willis and this guy and that? I don't even look at it because I'm expecting the Lions to be drafting in the, high 20s, early 30s next year in the first round. Does anybody else just stop looking at draft talk? Because quite honestly, it doesn't really pertain to our football team anymore. That's how good it's gotten around here in Allen Park. I love it. All right. Keep an eye on an injury and something that could derail a season of a team that's going to be in the mix around where the Lions are come this season. We will do that coming up next. That discussion is next right here on Locked On Lions. We appreciate all of you making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. It is Locked On Lions, a Tuesday edition. Again, Bradford Banta, who some of you sometimes see on Fox 2 on their Sunday roundtables during football season. Former Lions tight end and long snapper going to join us tomorrow on the program. We love always having Brad on the show, and we will have him on tomorrow to talk about training camp. All right, we're about 2 weeks away from players reporting. Rookies are reporting in less than 2 weeks. What was it like for Bradford back in the day to get ready to report? What goes into that for a player? We'll talk to our man, Coach Banta, tomorrow on this very program. All right, they're going nuts in Dallas. Dak Prescott spotted in a walking boot. Says he's fine. Said it's no big deal. He'll be ready for the start of the season. Dak Prescott, remember, is now 34 years of age. And, oh, by the way, in a contract year. He'll be making $29 million this season, but the Cowboys have elected not to offer a long-term deal yet. And so their franchise guy is a little bit on hold at the moment about his future. The Lions play the Cowboys in week 6, Sunday, 4:25 game. A little revenge from last year's joke with the officials and everything else where the game was stolen from the Lions. It was flat out swiped. But this is something to keep an eye on because you talk about the top of the NFC and everybody says it's San Francisco, and that is true, right? You look at the projections, you look at everything else. It's the Niners, right? Philadelphia projected to win 10.5 games. PFF has them at 9.7. Then you've got the Lions, who just like Dallas projected to win 10.5 from FanDuel, 9.7 from PFF. Then Green Bay, Atlanta, etc. But the top of the NFC is there for the taking. Of course, the AFC is a better conference. It is. Flat out is a better league. All right. I love that the Lions are in the NFC. I want the Lions to get another shot at San Francisco. Brock Purdy's a good player, but I'm not sitting there going, oh man, they can't beat they were up 20 points on the Niners last year. 23, whatever it was. I'm trying to forget about that game. But Dallas is a team that when healthy, and with their defense, with number 11, with all of that, Micah Parsons, I mean, they're still a good team. But you got Dak Prescott with a walking boot and Dak Prescott on a last year of his contract. And a lot of talk is going to be going on. There's always talk about the Cowboys, but about the Prescott situation, I think that has a chance to implode this year. Number one, I don't know who's running the football for that team. And number two, why haven't they paid him? Is he too old? Is the gap too large between what they want to pay him and what he wants? This is something to keep an eye on because last year, the Lions got robbed in Dallas, but obviously we know Prescott and CD Lamb had a field day against Detroit. And if it's somebody else, Cooper Rush, whomever, backing up Dak Prescott, and he's not healthy or things are going on down there, that week 6 game could be a lot easier than we think for Detroit. Love the revenge factor. Love the fact the Lions are getting a chance to go back to Dallas, go back to San Francisco. Hey, would I rather play the Saints and the Giants? Yes, of course I would, because those are easier games. But because the Lions are playing a first place schedule, they're going to play better teams. Dallas and San Francisco. But watch that situation in Dallas, because for seeding purposes, and what if the Lions don't win the division and Green Bay does, and there's a seeding situation with the wild card and everything else, I think Dallas could be in trouble. I really do, with the way that situation is brewing down in Dallas. And now their quarterback, Dak Prescott, not healthy, at least at the moment, as we enter a training camp in a few weeks. All right, folks, that'll do it for me for a Tuesday edition of Locked On Lions. Great to be back. Great to be talking about this football team. We'll continue on Thursday. Get your Speak Pipe voicemails in. Let's go. Speak Pipe, PIPE.com/Dairy podcast page. Weak submissions today. Weak. Do better. You can do better. I'm not going to play a bad one. I want to play a good one. Call of the day delayed until Thursday. This has been Locked On Lions, a Tuesday edition. Bradford Banta tomorrow, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.